it's Mark Davis from Tactical Edge. Welcome back to the best defence here in Arbroath. And what we're going to do tonight is we're going to carry on with some basic combatives. So we've worked over the last few weeks, we've done some basic takedowns, we've done some twin strikes, some ideas for twin strikes. The other night we worked on basic punch and replacements with palm heels, groin slap. So what we're going to speak about tonight is we're going to speak about hammer strikes. So you have to excuse me a little bit, I'm not moving quite so well today. My arthritis is absolutely killing me today. So everything hurts from the head to my toes, but we'll try our best to get a good little bit of information out to you. Okay, so back in a minute, we'll get into it. Yeah. So this time we'll talk about hammer strikes. So hammer strikes, like your palm heels, are what we term punch replacements. So hammer strikes, for the most part, what I'm doing is I'm replacing hooking punches with them. Okay. There are some other things we do. We'll get to that as well. But hammer strikes, we're really striking very much, a lot of the time we're striking laterally to the face, the head, the neck. Okay. We can use them at the body, but be honest with you, if I'm going for the body, I can get more drive and more power with a nice hook and uppercut into the liver than I will with a hammer strike. But you can do it. Okay. The other good thing about hammer strikes though is they're weaponizable. They're very easily weaponizable. So if I have a Sharpie pen in this hand, my tactical flashlight, or even a bottle of juice or water or something, that now weaponizes my hammer fist. And at the end of the day, like it or not, we are tool using monkeys. And armed self-defense beats armed self-defense every day of the week. The only trouble in this country is that there are no provisions under law, in either Scots or English law, for defensive weapons. Anything you carry with a view to using it in self-defense is immediately deemed an offensive weapon. Yeah. So that means you have to be a little bit smart about how and what you carry as any form of improvised defensive tool, and you never ever admit to actually carrying anything as a defensive weapon, because it then becomes an offensive weapon straight away. So it's you're in trouble with the law. Okay, so just make sure that you understand all this. But we travel, this day and age, maybe not at the moment with the state of the airports and stuff, but people travel an awful lot with business, with work and stuff. Very often you may find you're traveling to a country where you can lawfully carry some form of defensive tool. A lot of what we do with Hammerfist as well is the same as in reverse grip knife. So very, very, very similar. So if you look at Master Arms James A. Keating's draw point system, there's a lot of good stuff in there where this is completely conceptually available to you to be used with an impact tool or even unarmed with hammer strikes. Yeah. So hammer strikes are great. Now, so what we're going to think of is we're going to think about a couple of different types of hammer strike, how we get that basic power generation in there, and also a few little kind of nifty tricks and things you can do with them that you possibly haven't thought of. So let's think. At a really basic level, what we've got? We've got inward strikes, boom. We've got outward strikes, boom. We've got frontal strikes, boom, and boom. And we've also got downward strikes and upward strikes as well. Okay. We've also got twin strikes of various sorts. So we'll speak about those later. So let's start off really basic. Okay. So first hammer fist that you learn in Tactical Edge is the inward hammer fist. So your inward hammer fist is your hook replacement. So we have pretty much the same body mechanics for the inward hammer fist as we do with the hook. So if I'm in my guard position here, so we're going to start off in a bladed position, athletic position, guard up, as opposed to the way that we might do it in situationals where we're in a more neutral position and stuff. So let's just start off here. So if I'm throwing a hook, body mechanics are, I'm going to shift weight, I'm going to turn the hip, turn the foot, retract the shoulder, and throw the hook. Okay, so I'm shifting that weight, forwards. So I get that nice knee spring, same as we did with the palm heel strikes. I'm going to twist that hip in and turn the foot, boom. So you drive, boom, that punch in. Okay. So very similar with a hammer strike. So what we're going to do from here is I'm going to take that nice little knee spring forwards. I'm going to twist the hip in and I'm going to retract this shoulder the same. So I'm going from here into the side of the neck, into the side of the head, yeah? Into the side of the neck, into the side of the head, yeah? So this is our inward hammer fist. So you can see the snap of the hips and the way that we're using the body behind it. Now, if we think about stick, what have we got in stick? We've got lob ticks and witticks. So we've got those power cuts and we've got those snaps. So they come in handy with hammer fists as well, because once again, you think of this almost like using a stick. You've got a stick in your hand, it's like butting, using the pudding with a stick almost. So when I'm doing a hammer fist, I can snap forwards and hit and snap back, or I can follow through. So I can hit, if I go a little bit more horizontal this time, I can hit and come all the way through, which allows me to extend afterwards. Okay, so two different ways of doing it. Now, where that comes in handy is maybe if we're doing dead arm drills. Say, this arm's been, taken out of the game, so I'm really using that one arm, yeah, to strike it, yeah, the idea. So it's a handy thing to practice on those hammer strikes as well. So you can see the way I'm popping in, using the same knee spring and drive that we're doing with the palm heels. But this is coming around the corner, so I'm pivoting that foot and dropping the hip in. Yeah. So snap in, snap, yeah, snap in, and pull back. So these are inward strikes. Yeah, outward strikes can be done a couple of different ways as well. Now, what I try to do out with hammer fist is, if I'm throwing it initially, I try not to telegraph it. So what I mean by that is, very often you see people will pull this right back, okay, pull it back, all right. The trouble is, what do you think he's doing while we're pulling it back? Yeah? So, when we're throwing those outward hammer strikes, what I'm doing is the same kind of action, once again, same body mechanics, as when I'm doing my palm heel or straight punches and stuff. Okay? So I'm not going to twist back. It's kind of intuitive, because you think, I'm going to twist this way and untwist. That's not wrong, that's a really good power strike, but I'm not going to do that initially as an opener. So if I don't want to telegraph this, I'm going to use that same drop step and hip twist, same withdrawing the shoulder, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this laterally into the side of the neck. You see the little cross step, boom, hip extension, yeah, boom, hip extension. So this is a useful strike into the carotid sinus, into the jaw, into the temple, all right? Similar with the inward, we can go through. So I can do the same thing and go through, okay? So I can hit, but this time, to go through, I'm going to have to twist out a little bit. So I'm going to hit, and I'm going to throw through, okay? Get the idea? So, the good thing about outward hammer fist is, I've got this, and all the way up the forearm as well. So, if he closes distance on me, it's still going to slam that forearm straight into that carotid artery, okay? Right in the sternocleidomastoid, so I'm still going to get that carotid sinus shot. Now, if we think about angulation on hammer strikes, if you imagine a Union Jack, yeah? We can use all those lines for our hammer strikes. So what I mean by that is, I can come straight across, I come down at an angle. Yeah, I can come up at an angle. So these are really handy if I'm speaking with somebody, speaking with my hands, and I drop the hands low. I can use that up at an angle under the jaw. Okay, and once again, I can do that with a snap, or I can do it follow through. Now that leads us nicely onto these ones where we're just coming straight down the middle. Okay. So when we think about that line, we always think about a downward hammer fist, hitting down on the top of something, okay? That's great if I've hit him with a low shot and he's buckled forwards. There's my finisher into the back of the neck, into the brainstem. But what we can also do is hit straight balls in the face. So similar mechanics here. Say I drive the jaw with that palm heel strike. So I pop in, and I'm loaded here. See the hips chained already, so I drop forwards and get the hammer fist into the face. Yeah? So we can use that on that downward line there. Okay? So really, really handy. So I'll maybe pop up into the jaw and then come down into the face. Get the idea? Straight away, I've got this hand already out, I've got that point of attachment to start working over with other things, at the point of attachment and moving the head twist, all that good stuff. Yeah? Where else can we use it? We can use these things in with our twin strikes as well. So say I've come in with a basketball, and I've got the point of attachment. Now what I do is I pull and hit into the back of the neck at the same time as I hit him in the face. Okay, so the pull in, that kind of jing into the back of the neck, like I say in content, Jim Keating calls this putting him in a barrel, which works great. It's a similar thing. It's not a massive blast. It's quite unpleasant, quite discombobulating, but it's the two of them kind of together that lights it up. Okay, so once again, we can throw inward. So if I'm putting them together in combinations, I'll maybe throw a palm strike, then twist off into my inward hammer fist. I'll maybe throw a palm strike, twist off, two hammer fists. Yeah, I might throw my first hammer fist frontal to the chin. Yeah, so that hits there, and then I snap in around the corner with the other hammer fist. We maybe think about angulation. So I'm speaking, I turn like I'm going to turn away, and hit up through the way. So that was turning away, typical sucker punch. I don't really hassle, so I start turning, I'm going to hit up, boom, and then down. Okay? Similar as we did yesterday with the palm strikes, we can also think about body movement. Yeah? So if I fill his vision here with the palm and step, what does that give me? That gives me the brain stem. It gets me around the back of the head. So like we were doing the other day with the palm strikes, I'm not going to go and then, yeah? I'm going to keep my hand there, so I'm going to hit and I'm going to start moving as I hit. Get the idea? So it's a really useful one as well. If I go the other way, maybe I'll hit him with a palm strike here, and move across, and there's that outward hand fist and brain stem. So there's lots of different things we can do with them. Okay. Now, if we're thinking about twin strikes, what works quite well is if I've V-stepped off, as I V-step off, I can hit palm, heel and hammer strike at the same time. Get the idea? So you can see the way I'm stepping off, I'm twisting in, hitting the brain stem in the face. So, whoa. So there's a good twin strike. We've got twin inwards. Okay, so twin inwards a little bit more awkward. So, don't want hassle. Two hammer fists into the side of the neck, carotid sinus again. Collarbones. I really don't want hassle. And the collarbones as well. So there's lots of different ways we can use them. Okay, so there's our basic hammer fist. So inward, yeah, outward. Now, if I want to get a real power strike on that, I can. I'll just put that power strike in at the appropriate time, so I get that twist into it, yeah? We've got our angulation coming up the way. Yeah? Up into the jaw, up into the jaw. We've got downward. And the one thing I didn't speak about was straight up the way. Yeah? This is quite handy if I'm side on, say I'm at a bar or something, coming up, under the chin. Yeah? A little bit more difficult to get power into that, but for this shot here, you don't need an immense amount of power to really scramble someone's eggs. And the obvious one here as well is here, into the groin, just twisting that hip. I don't have to imagine I hit him here, and we do our other strikes. Okay, so a little bit of food for thought, just the way that we kind of use hammer strikes and tactical edge. Hope you find something useful in there, and we'll see you again sometime. Okay, take care guys, bye now.